Hello, everyone. I'm hoping that this is working. Looks like I can hear myself, so that's good. Turn a bit this way so that you can see me a bit better. It's time for the next astrological offering, I suppose, if you will. So again, many years ago, people used the stars to help orient how they moved about this life in this very real world, because you can use them for navigation, etc. So the idea of using these planets and these symbols and these, I don't know, projections, if you will, to guide people is a bit confusing. Like, why is it that it works? I don't really know. And maybe it won't work for you. You'll have to kind of figure that out for yourself. But for me, certainly, there's this sense that astrology is really interesting and oddly accurate. And I can't explain why. I'm not asking you to take it on faith. I'm not asking you to believe in anything. I'm just going to speak. And if it's valuable to you, of course, share, like, do the things you would like to do. I'm not here to boss you around, but I do, for whatever reason, which I can't explain logically, I have something to offer the world. So let's do it. This is the full moon in Libra. It's on October 20th at 7:57 a.m. I'm recording this ahead of time because I'm going to be with friends in Austin. I'm going to be doing a lot during the full moon, so that's something. So let's look at the main themes going from October 20th until the next cycle when the moon's going to be conjunct the sun again. Because right now the moon's on the opposite side, so it's able to reflect a huge amount of light back to us all. It's a built-in opposition, so there's this sort of tugging between the inner emotional body and reality, the reality of your experience. I think there's like this, it's a full experience. There's light happening a lot, shining a lot of light during the day, and of course at night. The day always being the case, night a little less. So the sun is where we begin, and it's in Libra. It's not exactly conjunct Mars, but it's been. So there's a little bit of heat added to the energy given off by you and others. There's this sense of challenge. There's this sense of struggle, right? We're going to start by looking at where Venus is, now that we know that the sun is in Libra and Libra is ruled over by Venus. So this lovey-dovey, harmonious planet rules over Libra energy. And it could be he. I'm not here to say like masculine, feminine roles. Of course, men can be lovey-dovey, so I don't know how the lovey-dovey is in your life where you express that. But it's in Sag. It's nearing Juno. So there's this partnership energy, this desire to be in this like committed, but people are still doing their own thing kind of a vibe. But like, true partnership energy, true exploration, true trust and freedom in the role that you play in someone else's life. So if you're in a relationship where the other person is really allowed to do whatever they want, maybe do other people, I don't know. But there's this energy of Venus, this explorative, optimistic energy in Venus. Now, since we're looking at Venus and Venus is ruled by Venus rules Libra, we have to look what rules Sag to see how that placement is going, and that is ruled by Jupiter, which is in Aquarius, which it doesn't really like to be. Jupiter is going to make the best of no matter what its situation is. It kind of shares the optimistic significations of Sag, the explorer, excuse me. But in Aquarius, it's being kind of constricted. So let's look and see who rules over Aquarius. How's Aquarius, that territory, doing? Oh, Saturn is in charge of Aquarius, and it's in its own territory. So that's a good sign. So there's this constriction still happening. There's this crunchy limitation energy that's happening from Saturn. It's the boundaries, it's the limits. And this Jupiter planet that wants to do all this optimistic, expansive, kind of hot air kind of things, not that that's bad, because sending optimistic, good messages is absolutely, totally important. Sometimes it's just totally what is needed. I'm not shitting on it just because sometimes it's a little far-fetched. But Saturn is definitely crunching down on that. So it's a little bit of a struggle, but I think the messages that do squeak out are going to be really, really necessary and really, really focused and on point and practical in their delivery. So we've kind of reached the ruling ruler of the moment. I think that's of course still Saturn. Jupiter is not the ruling ruler. Jupiter's subservient to Saturn, and Venus is sort of in Jupiter's territory. And Venus rules over Libra, where the sun is, and it doesn't like to be there. And Mars is there, which doesn't like to be there. I think Mercury's at this point, let me double check. Mercury is indeed going direct again. So during the new moon period, Mercury communications were sort of like, whoa, going in, taking a deep breath. Things weren't necessarily moving forward. So at this point, there should be some progression. So if you look and see what house Libra has is for you, for instance, it's in my second house. So it's work, finances, and my possessions. Theoretically, here it is. We'll find out on the 20th. Are things moving forward? To be completely honest, I'm in the middle of trying to find a job that's closer to me. I'm trying to find production work. I'm trying to put myself out there. I'm hitting easy apply on a lot of LinkedIn gigs. I'm really trying to stir the pot because I'm getting to this place of like, the customer service stuff it's teaching me a lot. It's pulling up a lot of things that I'm trying to sit with, but there's just this sort of like frustration, perfectionistic energy. I'm so sick of getting shat upon by other people, but I know that their emotions are coming up for a valid reason. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing my best and open to improving, but fully aware that I'm going to make tons of mistakes in my life. And I'm really wanting it to go well. So I'm hoping you're hearing like the legitimacy of my life. Like I fucking want to make a living in a way that doesn't harm others, that doesn't destroy the environment. I don't want an absurd, ungodly amount. I want to have beautiful experiences, and I want everyone to. That's just not gonna happen. Yeah. Fuck that. Let's make a new world, because if this world is not fun, if it's not enjoyable, and we're not getting along, then why do we want to stay in it? I'm not in any way encouraging any kind of self-harm. I want us to own the truth of reality. Let's start building a tribe. Let's fucking start building a tribe. Can you feel the energy? I can feel it. So during this full moon, we've kind of looked at where the sun was. Now the moon at this point looks like it's going to be in Aries, kind of at the end of Aries. So there's going to be some go getting and doing. Go getting and go doing. So you're going to think things and you're going to want to do things. Let's do it. The moon in Aries, I don't think is a particularly bad placement exactly. Not maybe the most happiest of all placements for the moon, because the moon is receptive and Aries is more demonstrative by nature. So again, I don't think it's a bad thing, but like let those feelings out. Try to do them in a way that is productive, right? What am I getting? Let's look at things for the moon. This is going to be perhaps a transformative full moon because Pluto and Capricorn's changing it. So there's something about the structure, the long-term established structures that's going to be getting a push. This is an initiatory, I think, full moon. Something's going to move. Something inside of you is going to want to move. Like I'm feeling this propulsion energy coming up in me. Let's just move, move, move. Chiron, of course, is still in Aries. Will be for a long time. So the part of your chart that contains Aries, for me, it's in the 8th house, which means dealing with other people's things, other people's possessions. I'm sort of like helping other people learn about their stuff and their own materials, kind of that's sort of the signature of it. And of course I have other planets there, so I don't want to get too personal for myself. I just want you to start thinking about your own chart and how these things might teach you something. Of course, I'm an astrologer. If you'd like for me to look at your natal chart, we can start asking these questions and stirring the pot and seeing if revelations and positive things can come to you. I make no promises, but I've got pretty fucking good results with people. I'm just trying to be real. I think it's worth your time if you're inspired. If not, totally get it. I don't want to take what you don't have. I'm just offering what I do. So let's see. So we've looked at the moon. That's ruled over by Mars. Mars is unhappy. So again, I just think a little contentious, wanting to get going, not really feeling like you can. Probably going to be a signature. That's pretty felt. I think we're reaching that end of hopefully the constriction over the next few months. People are going to be allowed to do a little bit more of their own thing, but there is this intensity building. So channel it. Deborah Silverman says exercise is exorcism. I'm not sure where she got that from. Maybe it's an original, but move, 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 move. Okay, that's what I would say. For me, it's like wild dancing without thinking in a safe space. There's a practice called ecstatic dance that I might try if I was you. Look it up. You can do it on your own. It's just a safe space, no substances, just music and you and your body, and just trusting the flow. Trusting it, moving, expressing, going, freeing it all the energy, just moving. I have a sneeze coming up. So let's see. What do we got? What do we got happening over the next few days? Start scrolling down a bit if I can. This is a birth chart, so it's going to be a little more challenging to do that, but I want to. So give me one moment. Let me go to the chart of the moment. Tabulate over. Chart of the moment. Sorry, I should have done this before. Bear with me, lovelies. So this is the 15th when I'm recording this, but I'm starting on the 20th. Lovely. I'm going to get rid of the things I don't want to see. That just confuseth me. Let's see. Okay, we're in good shape. Now we're going to move over a day or two. We're going to get the moon going around. We're going to see what Mars and Venus are up to. The sun's going to move into Scorpio season before the next new moon, which is nice. Venus is still hanging out in Sag. Mars is still hanging out in Libra. So again, I don't expect too much of a shift, but I think during this period, let's see, once the moon and the sun are conjunct, we'll know. Ooh, yes. Mars is moved into Scorpio by the 30th. Okay, so it's going to take about 10 days for us, I think, to notice that big pronounced shift. That would be my thought. Saturn is going to be squaring that Mars, which is going to be contentious, perhaps. But Mars will move into Scorpio. So instead of moving from this feeling of like, I want to take action, but I really can't take action, it's going to move to, I'm going to take action and I don't care who sees or who gets in my way. It's not the most public action because Scorpio thinks a bit more hidden, but I think people are going to start doing the fuck what they want. And Saturn is going to be restricting that again. There's going to be a tug of war, but I just don't think Mars is going to be able to stop because the sun's also in Scorpio. Scorpio is getting a little lift. I think people are going to start doing whatever the fuck they want come the end of October. People are going to start doing shit, not necessarily above board, not necessarily malicious, because sometimes shit just needs to get done. So at that point, the moon's going to be doing its thing. We're going to be moving around quickly. You'll move from I need to do me to I want to be comfortable to I need to be learning and exploring new things to I need to be safe and nurturing. I want to be showcasing my feelings. And then I'm going to get all the details right. I'm going to move. I'm going to take action. I think that's going to be sort of like the progression of this moon. There's going to be a point. Let's just see. The moon is there. Venus is still going to be conjunct Juno. I think we're going to be learning about our significant partnerships lack of or desire for. Like, just start exploring the things that you think you want there. But the moon's going to get back into Libra. That'll be a chatty time because it's going to be conjunct Mercury. And then all of a sudden, we've got the moon back at the new moon. So once we get to that point, I don't want to keep going. That'll be the next video. Just this section. Partnership energy. Exploring partnership energy, perhaps with someone who's very different than you, who has very different ideas than you. Sag to me represents a little of that. Something new, something to be discovered, something explorative. Let's see, at this point, the only planets that are retrograde are going to be Neptune and Uranus. Okay? Well, the major planets, at least. What am I feeling? I'm getting tension. I'm getting tension in my body right now. So let's work with this energy. Let's work with this energy. I'm going to cut back on some of these asteroids and things because it's a bit too much data for me to get specific. So we're going to limit these shapes a bit. We're going to cut back to just these essential planets. We're going to go back to the 20th. We're going to look at these major aspects. The moon squaring Pluto, Mars trining Jupiter. Okay, yeah. Mars trining Jupiter. That's interesting. I like that. Again, Jupiter doesn't have all of its juice to distribute, and Mars certainly doesn't have all of its space to roam, all of its independence, I would say. That doesn't happen. But again, I'm hopeful that there's going to be this like slightly kind boon. Even though there's going to be a restriction, maybe there's going to be something a little bit peculiar, a little bit in your own world, perhaps, but some idea, some flavor of inspiration may find you, which is a result of you being in this sort of like unable to progress position. Maybe something like that's going to be what you experience. Again, I'm trying to talk super general because I'm not looking at your chart. Let's see. We've got this square between Saturn and the moon. We've got square between Pluto and there. Uranus, Venus. Okay. A learning experience about how you communicate in relationship and how you show love in a rapid, transformative way. Something about those two things, I suspect, is going to come to a head, and an initiatory jolt, a change is going to want to manifest, particularly in how you're comfortable, particularly in how you consume things, like your sense of like just super grounding into your body, the feeling body, just being present. I expect a little bit of a forced integration moment. It's as if fate says, hey, you're going to work this shit out. I expect that that's going to happen around the full moon. And then as we move forward, okay, what are we getting next? What are we going to wait until the next major aspect thing? The moon's got that T-square. Okay, let's see. A tension point between, again, this loving, explorative, relational energy that wants to just change and learn about the truth of life. Your body wants to learn about the everyday functioning. You want to be around people. You want that energy. Those things are going to be kind of struggling with each other. And maybe because Neptune's the one kind of squaring the two energies, there's going to be this escapist tendency that may... So I guess I would say drink lots of water, like drink a lot of water. Again, this is very general, but a sober flow. If Neptune is like trining something, I might say, oh yeah, like have a moment, have a moment and enjoy yourself. So for me, this is going to be towards the end of my trip. I'm trying to think, okay. Some illusion and escapist things could occur, so I need to be very grounded, very present. I'll take this into consideration, Caleb, future Caleb. Okay, so what's next? We're moving and a grooving up through the next cycle. What's this one? Okay, so on the 27th, we're going to have another forced integration moment, I think. But this time it's going to be like, again, this not super powerful Jupiter, this gift giver, this benevolent force wants to help you learn something about your relationships, about your exploration, about your desire to achieve the best possible scenario, just to dream so big and to just reach for the stars, right? There's going to be that learning experience that will be I'm getting like this sense of like this nurturing, embodied, enclosed reality. Like that experience is just going to come to a head, and there's going to be this like desire to just like cocoon and just this like, I need to be safe and supported and held, and like I expect something like that will happen towards the end of October 27th. Moving again. We're moving along. The sun is going to be opposing. We're moving into that Saturn-Uranus square again. So the last one, I think, it's at a 6-degree orb. Okay, so towards the end of October and beginning of November, that thing's going to start picking up juice. Saturn-Uranus square. Growing stronger. The last time we had that, there was the riot stuff at the Capitol. For the first one. Some weather issues, I think, happened, if I'm remembering correctly. This is the third one of these. People are getting fed up with bullshit. I heard that there's riots that might potentially happen, or strikes in the entertainment industry here in La La Land. But yeah, the sun is going to be opposing Uranus, and Saturn's going to be squaring that sun in Scorpio. There's just some intensity here. There's some fucking intensity that I expect beginning of November. Not pleasant, really. I don't think it's going to be pleasant. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be fucking tough. A tough day. We're gonna be realistic then. We're going to be realistic when toughness happens. So energy of people rip-roaring and ready to go, and having the gusto and the inspiration to do so, the vitality to do so. It's the sun has been in Libra. It's been sort of like this, whoa, I'm harmonizing, I'm not really asserting myself so much. Mars is like, gets into Scorpio. That's not the case anymore. So now as we reevaluate the scene, when we look again towards the end, as we move forward, once the sun gets in Scorpio, and particularly once Mars moves into Scorpio. So we're talking, when did I say that was? Around the 30th of October, I think, the very end of this month. The flavor will shift from I'm not really able to do what I want and go for what I want. I'm sort of like kind of harmonizing and not able to exert myself to. I'm doing it. It's happening. Saturn is going to be restricting us still, but I don't think it's going to stop. I think there's going to be contention. Something is got to give. Something has got to give. There's going to be this tug of war. There's absolutely going to be this tug of war. I think that communication is going to be still towards movement and change and optimism and sort of tying up loose ends and getting the new things started that need to happen. I think we're moving into that beginning of fall to like steady fall. So this is like the death time. This is the shedding off. This is the shucking period of things that aren't serving you. This is the, and I'm just feeling this like desire to just kind of, like there's a growl coming up inside of me. So what can I say? What can I say except for you have an impact. You have a voice. What you do does matter. And having integrity is super fucking important, because when you have integrity, then no matter who's watching, you're still behaving according to your principles. So like even if shit hits the fan, even if things go sour, I still treat people with respect. That doesn't mean I like let them walk all over me or take bullshit. I'm not saying that. I'm saying respect, like, which is to me being honest and truthful and just rooting in the moment and just saying, I'm here, you're here, this is happening, what needs to be done. Because if someone is abusing you, you must end it. You mustn't take bullshit. You don't want to enable bad behavior. You are connected to this experience, and what you do matters. So when you take action, make sure it's principled. Don't take money from people if it's hurting the environment. Don't take money from people if it's harming another. Do not take the easy road. Become a warrior. Take action. Do what needs to be done. Let's do this. Let's move forward. That's what I would say, because this is going to be a challenge. But fucking challenges can be good. I was on a date recently, and someone said that challenges and obstacles actually excites him. He wants to move forward. He wants to rise to the occasion. Honestly, I'm a comfort person. I like challenge, but I don't like contention. I like challenge with support. I don't like challenge without support. So for instance, how would that work? If you're a manager, you say, I know that this is tough, guys, but we're in this together. What can I do to make it easier for you? Let's solve this problem together. Give me your honest feedback. Like, my manager's really good. He's asking me about the vibe of my experience with certain coworkers and certain managers. Like, he really wants to know how I feel, and he wants to make sure that my voice is heard. Like, he's doing a lot of different things. He's a good manager. So it's like, and in turn, because he's treating me well, I want to treat him well. I want to do what he says. I want to do my job. Like, I want to be a team player, but I also, have needs, and I want to be respected and supported. So it's like this good balancing act of things needing to get done and taking action as needed. So I think that that's sort of winding down the topic of what I have to share. There's just growliness. So feel free to do that. Find safe spaces to let your energy out. You could maybe go on a hike and find a safe space to do that. Bring water with you. Bring the things that you need. Tell people where you're going that you trust if you have that luxury. Because the world does. Shit can happen. Shit can go down. Disaster can strike. But how you respond to that disaster is still up to you, kind of no matter what you experience. So again, this is very general, but if you're interested in reading, if you want something specific about your life or your challenges, I'm happy to kind of use the tool of astrology or just to coach you and work through things. I do love engaging with people. In fact, I sort of feel like I become alive when I'm given the chance to respond to others. I have a thing at 5. I need to go get ready for that, but I'm hoping that your full moon experience is powerful and transformative in a shucking of the old and moving towards what it is you'd like to move towards. There's going to be a desire to revolt. There's going to be a desire to change. There's going to be shifts. That's what I would predict. I need to be careful about the language I'm using because, again, these are just my stories. I'd like for you to be awake and aware of what you think might occur. If something does resonate with you, if there is something to astrology, awesome. If there's not, then I hope that this was entertaining and at least encourage you to think about yourself. The last thing I want to do is scare people unnecessarily, but I do feel like that there's tension. I do feel like that's a normal thing that occurs in the world. And even if I'm not right, and even if this doesn't happen, even if astrology is all bullshit, I still believe that tension happens and that struggle happens and that it's okay to talk about it. And it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to put forth your ideas. If you are not confident enough to, this is a kind of a teal swan idea. If you're not confident enough to just assert your own self, at least acknowledge that it's not fun to be miserable. I was talking to my friend on the phone today about how we're feeling like we're really struggling and that life isn't often fun, and we're kind of being asked to do work that isn't enjoyable, and we're not really being compensated very well. And how do we survive, and what's right, and am I doing good, and I want to be respected, and I want to be connected to the community. There's just this like boiling over point, and crying and release is totally okay. So if you need to cry, please do. Sometimes I feel like I have to take substances to get to that emotional release. I don't know if that's good or bad, or should I not, but I'm in it. You're in it. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. I might do a neti pot to just try to like purge some of this congestion-y stuff. Drippy nose. That's what I'm doing. I hope you're doing good. It's been 30 minutes with y'all. Love, light, and the snake's bite to you. Love, light, and the snake's bite.